Hi guys, in this series of Node.js from zero to hero, we're going to demonstrate on how to use JsonWebToken to secure the web page. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. To start with, we need to know what is JsonWebToken. If it is your first time, this is the NPM that we're going to use. By definition, JSON Web Token is one method for allowing authentication without actually storing any information about the user on the system itself. So, using this MPN, you can say that whenever you perform a request, the system or the front end will send a request to the back end. Then this will control, or for any hacker attempts to access the back end itself. That's why we use JSON Web Token to secure this type of activities. So let's begin. We start with going to create a new folder. Let's say we're going to call this as JSON. Let's make it WT project. Okay, just to let you know that I'll be using VS Code. And for you guys, if you use other IDE, it doesn't matter. As long you have Node.js on your project or on your system, that should work. So let's start. To begin with, using this IDE, we need to install first the npm init. Okay, so let's start with the npm init. So begin with, need to type npm init. Okay. If you want to have a quick creation, you just indicate this one. You need to type hyphen, then Y for Linux or Mac. But for Windows, you can simply type -S. So this is basically will generate automatically the information since you're only focusing on the default part. So that's how you set up in Windows. Okay, so I think this is good. Okay, I'm going to clear this one here. Now for our entry point, we're going to create server.js. Okay, so let's start with our package. Since we'll be using only the basic ones. Okay, to start with, we need to type npm. Oops. Okay, there you go. Seems my PC is starting to get slow. npm. Okay. Okay. Seems my PC is a little slower, so let's do it again. npm install. In Windows, you can simply type npm I or simply npm install. For this one, we'll be including Express. And outside from Express, we'll be using JSON Web Token. Okay, that should be it. Then need to save. while waiting, please watch the previous video on the discussion on how to create session using Express MySQL session. So that one was also in part of the authentication or security code. Same goes with this one. So you can combine the session and this. So this will be a perfect combination when you're creating a super secure authentication system. Most of you guys are heard of this what you call token. So most of these things are used when you are creating an API. But same goes. That's the whole purpose of the demonstration. Is we need to create an API JSON to secure your requests. So this is one way method to secure your website. Okay, cool. So that's it. Okay, let's examine. Okay, as of the time of this recording, our Express is 4.17.1 and our JSON Web Token is 8.5.1. Okay, so that should be it. Okay, now to start with, we're going to create the basic structure of Node. So to start, we need to create const Express equals to require Express. So const AVP equals to Express. Oops. Then I'm going to assign the port. Port equals to 5000, and I'm going to assign that app.listen. I need to call the port. We can simply direct this one. So from here, I'm going to call the console .log. So you can say server running on port and this one. Okay, so okay, good. So that should be the starting point. So okay, so at this point I'll be using NodeMon, but since I don't want to install NodeMon, so I'm just going to use npx, then using NodeMon here, and the name of the app. You can use npx if you are or installing a global installation. npx is a good one. Oops. What happened? Not more, no. Yeah. It should be. I'm typing the wrong word. It should be NodeMon. No. Okay. Okay, good. So now that we have started our first initialized system, so okay, so that's the starting point. Okay, just to remind guys that if you want to install any, or especially the global package like NodeMon, you can use npx. This is one of the, you can say one of the easiest method of installation. You can also do that if you're going to install React or whatever system. Instead of using npm, you can also use npx. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, let's start first with our, let's say, yeah, of course, we need to start with our home. So since we're creating a website, basic structure, I'll begin with our home. So to do that, you need to type up.get, and from here, I'm going to call home. So let's say West and West. Oops. Okay, from here, we need to return a JSON type or JSON command here. Let's say I'm going to send a message. Let's say welcome to homepage. Okay. Okay, so whenever you create a routes, so this is how you define to call a routes. So to demonstrate this one, let's say I'm going to open that in our browser. Say from here, you need to type localhost 5000/home. There you go. So this is the starting point. Now that we already create our starting point, which is the home, the next thing we need to do is we need to demonstrate how does a token work. So to do that, we need to create first our verified token. So to start with, okay, since we already called this one here, first we need to import our JsonWebToken. So to do that, we need to type cons, and let's say going to call this as JsonWebToken. Or simply, I'll just make it short. Let's say JWT. Then from here, going to call the require. Then the package name, which is JsonWebToken. So that's the first part. Now that we have our first part, the next thing we need to do is we need to create a function for this JsonWebToken that will serve as our authentication. So to do that, let's say from here. Okay, so we need to declare that. So let's say cons JsonWebToken. Okay, let's say cons verify token. So from here, we need to declare a async of request, response, and next. Okay, so that's the starting point. Then let's say okay, so the first thing is we need to clear a bearer header. Okay, should be bearer header. And from here, once we receive a request, let's say from the headers, okay, and authorization. Oops. Authorization. Okay, that's the first part. Okay, this is the part where we receive our requests because all the authorization will be passed on the header part. So once we extract the header. So we need to verify that beater header. Now we need to check if the beater header exists. Then from here, we need to assign the beater or extract the beater. So from here, we want to call beater header dot split. Okay, so we need to split this one. Okay. Okay, so that's the first part. So the first part, we need to split that, and that token, we're going to assign that to our request and assign that to token. Of course, to this beater. So we want to extract the second part, which is this array part, the second one, and we're going to assign that in our token. Then once confirmed, we need to return that. So we need to assign the next. Okay. This should be that one. Okay. Now, at this point here, we are confirming that if this is if the token is verified here, then this one will proceed. That's why we assign the next. Now, what if that is invalid, so or empty? So to do that, we need to return a JSON. So we're going to return or inform the user that this page or token is forbidden. Okay, so that's the first part. Let's check first. This one's okay, this one's okay. Okay, let's check everything. So why this one is verified token? Okay, that should be the first part. Okay, so again, so what we do is we create a verification token. So from here, what we do is we extract the headers, and from that headers, it will check if there's a token exists on that part. So then once have, this will proceed. But if not, this will inform the user that that page is forbidden. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, so the next one is, of course, we need to assign that in a login form. So basically, when we do this one, this always applies on the login part. So to do that, let's say we're going to create a login command or a login request. Since this happens during the login information, so we need to create a temporary login request. Okay, from here, going to assign the URL, which is the /login, and then we need to apply the rec and res. These are the requests. And then, okay, so since we won't be using any database for now, so I'm going to create a dummy account. So to start, I'm going to hold this one as the user data. Let's say these are the fields. So if you're going to apply this in a real or in your system, you should apply this using the actual database. For now, since this is only a demonstration, I'll be using a dummy account. This should work as well. So either way, we only need to get the importance on how to use JsonWebToken. Password, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's the first part. Now that we have our test data, the next thing we need to do is we need to receive a request. So to do that, we need to type cons. Oops. Let's say going to extract the username and password. This will extract from your request body. So this request.body. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, from this point here, we extract the request or the request coming from your body. So then we're going to perform conditions. Let's say the username is equals to, first with our dummy account, that is user data.username. So, and password is equals to, of course, with our user data dot password. Okay. Username equals to username and password. Oh yeah, I closed something here. Okay, so that's the first part. So if this one is confirmed, I'm going to delete one of the columns inside in my data. Okay, why I am doing this one? Okay, this command, what I do is, since I create an array, I'll be using a return statement to convert this information to JSON Web Token. So within that token, we won't be needing the password because this is a case sensitive. So we won't be using this one. So since we already removed, so that's why what I do here, I remove the password column, which is this one. So it will only captures the full name and username. So if this is complete, let's say already removed, then here comes our JSON Web Token. JSON Web Token. That's our JWT that we need to sign. Let's say our is the user data. And from here, one of the requirements is you need a secret key. For this demonstration, I'll be using secret key. Okay, so that's the next part. Now, another part of the features is, aside from secret key, will be, of course, we need to indicate the expiration. So this will be expires in 30 seconds. Okay, so let's check. 30 seconds. Okay. Then we need to check, we need to make an error checking So let's say err, comma, token. Okay, so this will return. So if there's no problem, we're going to return a JSON format for our token. Okay. Okay, good. So that's the first part. So what we do is once we receive the request from the user, so once confirmed, so what I do is in this line here, we remove the password column. So then the JSON Web Token will convert this into token with, of course, with the following. We have the secret key and the expire as to how many seconds it will take to expire this one. So, and also this is the output for that one. Okay, so that's the first part. Now, of course, we need to, since we are comparing something, I'm going to make a temporary else statement here that indicates that if you, of course, if you fail to log in, so I'm going to return a rest the status of Pro1. And from here, I'm going to assign the error to true and a message. So let's say for this one is username or password is invalid. Okay, so that should be it. Okay, so let's try this one. So what we do is we're going to create, of course, since we won't be using any web page. So what we need to do is I'll be using an app within the PS Code. So for those guys means the first part, I introduced to what you call Thunder Client. Okay, so Thunder Client serves as like a postman. So this is part of VS Code. So this will be our tools to demonstrate this example. So let's try. So I'm going to create a new request. Okay, from here, I'm going to type http://localhost port 5000. Okay, so since I'm using POS, we're going to change this to POS, and our request URL is /login. Okay, so let's move this a little closer. Now from our body, since I'm sending a JSON format, I'll be declaring or assign a JSON request. Let's say username. Oops, this should be the next one. Password. Let's say Ricky. And here, let's say 11211. So that should be intentional. So let's try this one first. So if I send request, okay, so cannot destructive property. It is simply because we send a request which is not recognizable by our system. So what we need to do is to recognize the incoming request, especially a JSON. We need to assign a conversion command, which is that will recognize our JSON, or this will interpret our JSON as our valid request. So to do that, the first thing we need to call is we need to call the app.use. And here, I'm going to call the express package to load our JSON. That's the first one. Then from here, going to go first, we need to use the express. Should be this one here. Should be express URL encoded. Should be extended to true. Okay, so this will interpret our, oops, there's an error. Should be JSON. Okay, so this will interpret our incoming requests, especially the JSON. So, okay, so this. Okay, so there's no error. So let's try again. And send. Okay, so there's unexpected string position 30. So let's check here. Position 30. So username. Okay. So should be comma. Okay. So part of this test, since I'm using JSON, so you should check, guys, if you're sending a valid JSON format. So I hope this is okay. So let's try once more. There you go. Okay, so this is intentional. I made this just to see that this one commits an error. So as of now, we received an invalid request. So let's go back again. So our request here is, of course, my username, and this is my password. So let's try now. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Again, 1. Oops. Keyboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you once we send this request, there you go. Now, let's move this one. Okay, so this is the reason. Again, a while ago when I create this one, the first thing is we create or assign this package here to assign or convert any information from our data. So since this is our data, and this will generate our token. Okay, so once you generate your token, this information, okay, this is basically our token. Now, to understand further what's the content of this JSON token, we need to copy this one. And there's a website which is the JSON, the jwt.io. This one interprets the JSON token. So if you type or log into this account, or if you're in this website using the token, this is how it interprets the token. So let's say I'm going to paste that here. And let's, oh yeah, it's already generated. Invalid signature. Let's go back here. Let's copy this again. Okay, good. Okay, so once, basically the JsonWebToken, this interprets the data. As you can see, this header, this indicate that it's a JsonWebToken. So if you're scanning the payload, this returns the information. So very important is never to include the password. That's why I removed the password in the beginning, so that our token will secure only this information. So that's it. That's the first part. So this is how you handle the request using JsonWebToken during login. Now, how can we apply this JsonWebToken? So to apply this one is, we're going to create a authentication within the page, because each page like this one, so this is one of the URL or address page. So if you're creating a website, let's say going to log into this one, this can be visited or accessed by anyone outside within yourself, within the system. So to prevent that, we're going to use JsonWebToken to secure this page. So let's go back here, and we're going to create a test URL request. So let's say, okay, so this is for the login. Let's say I want to create here. So from here, I'm going to demonstrate a authorization page request or authentication. So to start with, let's say I'm going to type app.post. Let's say this page, web or welcome. So this is the welcome page. So from here, remember that I create this one, this verify token. So this will make the checking. If there's a token, this will scan the URL. So again, so we're going to complete this one. So we need to apply the request and the rest. Okay, so JSON or KWT. So that's a JSON web token. Need to verify this one. Press that token. Okay, so here are the elements or the basic requirements to authenticate this web page. So first, it requires the secret key, which is the secret key that I assigned a while ago. So remember this, guys. When I create this verify token, on the first part, I assign the secret key. So this is the secret key. In reality, you can it should be a very encrypted security key for this one. But for this demonstration, I just make a simple secret key. So this will serve as a comparison whenever there's a request on the page. Okay, so that's the first part. So next, okay, from here, let's say error. Okay, seems this one is a very bit long. We're going to move this another line. Out data. Let's say if error just to make sure that our okay, so from here, if error, so I need to return res.json. So we need to return a message. Let's say token expires. Okay, so that if there's an error or if the tokens already expired, this will verify for that token. Else, let's say else here we need to return a JSON statement. Message, let's say post created Created. Oops. Successful. And first we need data. Okay, so let's change this one. The better, this authentication successful. Okay, so let's check very well why I have this one here. This from the old and this one. From here. Let's from here should be did I miss something here? Let's check very well. I know I closed here. So this one else with a request. This one should be closed. And this one. Okay. Sometimes need to verify one by one. So let's say post welcome, verify comment, verify token, finish the request from here. So should be the closing tab. JsonWebToken verify. Then from here, we need to close that tab. So I guess that's okay. So from our error, authentication here should be so this is the part I'm missing. Should be closing here. This is the rest JSON for this one. Okay, let's verify this again. There. Okay, so bit of dizziness in there. So let's check very well. So yeah, I think this is okay. So what this is on this part here in this section is this is the welcoming page. So what it does is if there's no authentication to access this page, better we demonstrate. So from here, I'll be creating a new request. So let's say I'm going to copy this one here. This should be welcome. Okay, then this should be a post. So what happens is if we apply, or let's say after login, then in here, let's say somebody tries to access this page. So if somebody attempt or open this in a URL, this will display. So let me explain. A while ago, when I created this one, we created a function to verify. So this is the verify token. So on each page that you're going to create, or each route or request or URL, so like this one, this is a welcome URL. So this is a welcome page. So technically, this is a welcome page. So what we do is we secure the page. So if somebody, or let's say a hacker, tries to access this one, this will block. So this will inform the user, oops, this is forbidden. So how to bypass this one? So to do that, let's say, remember a while ago, this is the token. So to do that, we need to copy this token. So this should be applied on the front end. So on the front end here, let's say authentication. So for this one, our authentication is a bearer authentication. So that's the token authentication for this one. So if we send this using this bearer token, oops, already expires. So let's check. Yeah, because I already used this one. So we need to make a new one. So again, so we need to reload this one. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Take note, we only set this to 30 seconds. So that's why, oops. Oh, okay. Should be passed. Send. Status okay, but token expired. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's verify this again. Token here. Oh. Where is our auth? Oh yeah, should be here. So probably our if token is error, else. Okay. So let's check everything. So our secret key, so should be the same. Ah, okay, so I know what happened. In here, I declared secret key as a BK. So that's why when we compare something, this one did not recognize. So let's save that. So that's another thing, guys. That's why you keep saying that tokens expired, because our secret key didn't match. So hopefully this works. Okay, so better me to resend again. There. Then copy this one here. Paste. There you go. So that's it, guys. So this is how the authentication works. So upon request, our token was sent to, of course, set to expire. So at this point here, we set to 30 seconds expiration. So whenever there's a expiration, this one will tell the user that your token is already expired. Of course, you need to adjust this one. So for now, I just only set it to this one. You can modify this on your own. So for now, this is how you authenticate a web page. Okay, cool. So that's the next part. Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah, okay. So basically, this is it, guys. So this is how you authenticate a page. So let's review again on what we do. Okay, so what we do is, in this section here, we demonstrate how to use Express with JsonWebToken. So what we know is that JsonWebToken is a type of authentication, so which authenticate or allowing a web page. So that's how authentication works. Then aside from that, we create a verification token. This will verify the incoming token. So from here, we extract the authorization from the headers. Take note, this applies to the request from the front end. So this function here are extracting the token from that request. Then that request or that token came from our login. So since we apply that during login, once we log, we convert that token into first the token API or basically a token API. So that generates this request. So this is the token in return. Now, when I demonstrate what is this content, this content of our token shows the information of that particular information. And basically, I remove the password because that one's not needed. So that's why it's very important to omit the password along with the user information. Usually this happens if whenever you return a token from a user information. So this part of information should be enough. You can also include email or some other stuff. So this one should be okay. So take note, this is the website that for that token to verify. Then going back here, once this generate, we create a request to access this page. So take note, this was we apply this page or this URL to have a secure token. So this is the verification token. Once this URL code, this will verify if the incoming token are the same with our original one. Remember that I changed the secret key here. It didn't match, so that's why it keeps saying, oh, this one is already expired. So that's why what we do is we ensure that that token is really the same token that we are having. So this will prevent the hacker to access our web page due to this type of authentication. Okay, so as you can see, once we verify that token, our page will be accessed authentically. So that's it. So yeah, so basically that's it, guys. Now, if you watch my previous lesson on session, you can combine that with session and JsonWebToken. So these are one of the most secure way on how to secure your website. On the next part, I'll be discussing passport to complete this tutorial. But since then, if you found this video, oops. Oh, sorry, let me minimize this one. Okay, so much with that. So thank you guys. So if you found this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!